What is Thunder Dolphin? Thunder Dolphin is a steel roller coaster located at Tokyo Dome City in Tokyo, Japan. The ride has become an iconic amusement attraction in Japan for multiple reasons. Firstly, it's located in the heart of Tokyo amongst the dense city skyline. Secondly, it features two distinctive and unique elements. Partway through the experience, riders of Thunder Dolphin weave across the roof of LaQua, a spa and shopping center, before plummeting towards the ground through a hole in the side of the building. At this point, they then climb into the sky and thread through the center of the Big O, the world's first hubless Ferris wheel. But how did a building surfing, Ferris wheel threading roller coaster come to exist in the heart of Tokyo? The amusement park in which the ride is located, Tokyo Dome City, originally started its life as a small collection of attractions outside of a popular baseball stadium. In 1937, the Korakuyen company built a 50,000-seat complex located in the center of Tokyo, which served as the home of the Yomiuri Giants until 1987. Over the course of its lifetime, the stadium was home to a range of events, including the first American football game outside of North America, as well as many concerts from artists such as Madonna and Michael Jackson. The popularity of the complex led to attractions being built around it to accommodate the crowds. This included restaurants, bowling alleys, skating rinks, and cinemas, similar to the things that can be found at LaQua now. Though, at the time, the owners wanted to expand the offering further. As a result, in 1955, they built the Korakuyen Amusement Park. Located in the northern region of the stadium, the small park featured a Ferris wheel and one roller coaster, Giant Coaster. Later named Two-Way Coaster, the ride opened to the public as the world's longest steel roller coaster, measuring 1,500 meters, 4,921 feet in length. The entire layout circled the perimeter of the park, a unique concept that was later revitalized with the construction of Thunder Dolphin. In the years following, Korakuyen Amusement Park continued to grow. New rides and roller coasters were built, often as replacements or upgrades of older attractions. Then, in 1987, the baseball stadium built by the Korakuyen company was closed and demolished to make way for Tokyo Dome, a modern 57,000-seat indoor stadium built adjacent to the plot of the old stadium. Tokyo Dome became the new home of the Yomiuri Giants and continued to host other events too. Upon construction, it was nicknamed the Big Egg due to the shape of the air-supported flexible structure that makes up the stadium's dome. The new stadium only caused the amusement park to expand further. By the late 1990s, the park was even at the forefront of roller coaster innovation. In 1998, they debuted Linear Gale, the world's first Intamin impulse coaster. This innovative ride used magnetic launches to accelerate guests multiple times through U-shaped track. Unlike other launch coasters of that era though, the ride suspended guests below the track. In fact, Linear Gale opened as the world's first inverted launch coaster and featured the most launches on any roller coaster at the time. The company that built the ride, Intamin, continued to innovate. They built their own modernized version of the Hypercoaster, a roller coaster that measures over 200 feet, 61 meters tall, in 1999 with the debut of Superman Ride of Steel at Darien Lake. Then, a year later, they introduced the world to Millennium Force at Cedar Point, the world's first roller coaster to break the 300-foot, 91-meter height barrier, being dubbed a Giga Coaster in the process. To lift guests up the colossal incline quickly, Intamin also developed a cable lift hill. This enabled the trains to climb a far steeper incline much faster while remaining nearly silent during normal operation compared to a traditional chain counterpart. With these large developments within the amusement industry, Korakuyen Amusement Park was ready to be upgraded and modernized. The section of the park now home to Thunder Dolphin was completely leveled. In its place, a big redevelopment plan sprung into action. Instead of a traditional amusement park, the owners decided to turn their park into a leisure facility in which people can enjoy refreshment in the middle of Tokyo. The redevelopment came in the form of three major additions. First, LaQua, a spa and fitness club that is also home to a multitude of restaurants and shopping outlets as well. LaQua was built against the northern edge of the plot, leaving room at the opposite end for the second attraction, the Big O. Opening as the world's first hubless Ferris wheel, the Big O stands a huge 80 meters, 262 feet high. The third and final addition was Thunder Dolphin, a brand new hypercoaster from the company that had been innovating only a few years prior, Intamin. Also standing 80 meters, 262 feet tall, Thunder Dolphin dominated the perimeter of the park, similar to the park's previous ride, two-way coaster, which was removed in 2000 to make way for the modernization. Combined, the three new attractions were designed to be a spectacle. LaQua and the Big O stand across from another, with Thunder Dolphin threading through both during its thrilling journey. With their development complete, Korakuyen Amusement Park was ready to open. In preparation, the park was renamed to Tokyo Dome City in 2002 before debuting all three of their new attractions in 2003. Including such a large-scale roller coaster in the plans of the expansion was certainly a challenge for the design and construction teams. Firstly, to match the height of the Ferris wheel, Thunder Dolphin had to climb high quickly. Intamin's cable lift technology was used, which both saves space and reduces noise pollution. As Tokyo and Japan in general is a region prone to earthquakes, measures also had to be taken to ensure the new ride was earthquake resistant. The narrow space Thunder Dolphin was constructed in also meant that additional supports with a unique design were required. The solution came in the form of vertical tubes connected via horizontal steel supports, all braced by a series of steel cables. The final challenge came in the form of LaQua. Partway through the ride, guests aboard Thunder Dolphin climb onto the building's roof. To combat the additional stress placed on the building, the supports for the ride were built into large concrete foundations separate from the building's roof. At this point, the ride had been designed and built, but what would it be called? The name Thunder Dolphin was in fact inspired by the ride itself. Due to being a spa, LaQua's design has taken inspiration from water, specifically the wave-like formation of the building's roof. This, combined with the motion of the roller coaster across the roof and through the center of the Big O, led to designers comparing it with a dolphin swimming and leaping in the ocean. Thus, Thunder Dolphin was born. But what's a ride on this unique roller coaster actually like? Visitors first enter the ride station, located at the foot of the Big O. Once they've traversed the queue, riders board one of the attraction's vehicles. Each one features 6 cars, with guests seated in 2 rows of 2. This leads to a total of 24 visitors per train and a maximum theoretical capacity of 1,025 riders per hour. Once ready, guests leave the station and immediately begin the climb. The trains ascend the 45.5-degree lift hill to reach the maximum height of 80 meters, 262 feet above the ground. Once at the top, riders stare down the 66.5-meter, 218-foot tall drop. They then quickly plummet towards the ground at the maximum vertical angle of 80 degrees, reaching the top speed of 130 km per hour, 81 miles per hour in the process. Immediately after, the trains climb up the side of the building and bank right onto the roof. Guests traverse a single airtime hill before climbing into a second right-hand turn. At this point, they then dive through the side of LaQua and fall towards the ground. The train then begins a second right-hand climb, this time through the center of the Big O, narrowly missing one of its supports. A small airtime hill later sees riders climb up the side of the building for a second time. They then bank right and begin a series of small hills, twists and turns along LaQua's roof. The ride comes to an end with a second right-hand dive off the side of the building, leading guests into the final brake run. During the entire experience, guests navigate 1,067 meters, 3,500 feet of track, most of which takes place within roughly 52 seconds of actual ride time. Upon opening, Thunder Dolphin stood as the world's tallest hypercoaster and the 5th tallest roller coaster in the world. But unfortunately, its operation hasn't been problem-free. In December of 2010, a bolt from one of the train's wheel assemblies was damaged and fell from the ride, hitting a child on the ground, resulting in minor injuries. After this, the ride was closed and remained closed until the 31st of July 2013. Upon its reopening, the roller coaster's layout was fitted with nets to minimize the chance of any objects falling into the busy paths below should they come loose during the ride. Thunder Dolphin is by definition a unique roller coaster. Few attractions traverse the roof of a building or dive through the center of a Ferris wheel, let alone both. Despite offering a quirky and uncommon layout, Thunder Dolphin is enjoyed by many for purely being a large white-knuckle ride near the center of Japan's capital, Tokyo. Let us know what the most unique roller coaster you've ever ridden is in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time.